Hello and welcome to the Texas Truck Channel, and today I'm going to do a walk around video on this 2022 Toyota Highlander XSE all-wheel drive. Now we are in the Great Piney Woods of Houston, Texas, which means of course it's raining, but it also happens to be cold, which is rare for down here, but nonetheless we continue. So let's take a quick walk around. This one's covered in blue, which is beautiful. Comes with 20-inch wheels, and in this video we're going to show you some things that we're not going to cover in the full review because we don't usually have time for that in the full review. We do have a sunroof in this option, and of course we have true dual exhaust tips because we're on the XSE, and that actually looks pretty good. In a world of fake exhaust tips, believe it or not, that's nice to have. So I'm going to take you inside and show you some things that are more important because it's just cold out here. Okay, coming inside, we have a bit of a surprise. Let's start this thing up. We have actual red interior, which I really was not expecting to have in here when we got the car, but here it is. Now, I'll admit, it has been polarizing to most people. And I've had some feedback from some that say, you know, the red on the seats aren't so bad, but what's polarizing is the door cards. The entire time you're driving it, you never forget there's red seats in here. Some are gonna love it, some are gonna hate it. I don't necessarily hate it, although it makes more sense in something like a GR86 or a Super than it does in this, but I'm glad there's some flair in the family car lineup. Kudos to Toyota on that. So, something that's going to be important to a lot of people that are going to buy this car is going to be the tech. And I want to cover some things that are both good and not so good. One of the good things is you have a digital display in the middle, and one of the bad things about that display is that it's not the most cohesive design to look at. So for example, on this fuel economy gauge right here, on the total, you have a digital number to give you the number of that scale, because you can tell it's just below 20, so it's actually 18.6. On the trip, if we were driving for like a road trip, this would populate up here with another bar telling us the visual representation, but there would be no number telling us what that number is for mileage. So you'd have to go to the gas pump and actually check it that way, or reset the total. Not a huge deal, just seems like a little bit of a misstep in the cluster design. Not a big deal either way. I do like the gauges. They're clear and easy to read. And I love that we have an actual analog tachometer. And if you hear that, that's the best part. And that's the V6 that Lotus actually uses in their Evora and the upcoming Emira. That's pretty exciting. It's actually a good engine. It's paired to an 8-speed with the all-wheel drive setup. We've been driving this in inclement weather and it has been rock solid. No complaints there. Now, infotainment, center stack. Here's the other part that's kind of debatable for some. I'm just going to bring the map up, and that's probably going to tell you all I need to know. And yeah, that's the map. Now, I will say, while it doesn't look very new, it does look about 5 or 10 years old in terms of just visual interface. It does work flawlessly. It never hiccups. It never has a problem. And credit due on that. Some people can't figure that out, and so credit where it's due. I'm happy with that. You go to the home screen, you do have apps on this guy, and there's all kinds of things you can do there. So there is a Toyota Connect app, and that gives you things like remote start, and that gives you things like vehicle health and miles per gallon over time, that kind of stuff. That's super cool. Remote start is a great feature to have, and you do have it on the key fob as well. I'll show you that. And yeah, there's no hard button for it. So the way to actually remote start this thing is you have to hit it twice on lock, and then hold lock, and it'll start it. Now obviously the problem with key fob remote starts, there's a range problem. So luckily the app will actually work from wherever you are at, like a lot of different brands do now. That's pretty cool. Downside to that is there's a 1-year trial subscription with that service, and after a year you have to pay for that feature on the car, which I'm not crazy about that. I really wish there was a better way for Toyota to at least keep the hard key functional after the app has expired. I understand the app running money, there's a running cost for that, I understand that. Anyways, continuing on. The interior, you've got 3 rows. Plenty of room. We have got children in this one, as you can tell. The second row seats move forward and back, and they fold flat, and that works really well. Now, something that's interesting about the third row is that the last seat is not red, it's just black. So that kind of tells me that maybe they realize that a lot of people aren't going to use this thing every day in the third row, more in a pinch, and it works great for that. So, sunroof, we do not have a pano roof, we have a single pane glass. And you know what? I like that, because every time there's a pano, the second row loses headroom, and that's not a problem here. I fit great in the second row, and I actually love that there's not this giant glass thing that both increases road noise and reduces headroom. So good job to it, I like that. Center cluster, I actually like the cluster a lot. I want to talk about that. You've got lots, console. You got lots of cubby holes here and here. You actually have a very interesting concept here of plugging in your cord here, and then they've given you a feed wire, a port hole. So if you wanted to plug in a phone for Apple CarPlay and leave it right here, you can do that. And then it's out of the way and it's coiled up. There is not a wireless CarPlay option, so it does have to be wired, so that's fine. That's fine, you plug it in, it charges. You've also got USB-C ports here and a traditional cigarette lighter that no one's ever going to use. There's that. Comes to the center console, and you've got a wireless charger. That's pretty neat. Now, it does seem like an afterthought. It's been added in here to the pre-existing console. You power it up. But I will say that this console is very, very deep, which is great for families. That's important. Center stack. You got your driver controls, sport, normal, and eco. And then you've got drive modes for the all drive system. You've got mud and sand, and you've got rock and dirt or normal. And that's going to be that for the drive modes. That's all you need. And guess what? It works really well. We're happy with that. Let's check out the back real quick. The back hatch opens very quickly, and I love this blue color, I gotta say. Okay, here we go. The third row is down. We've got plenty of storage space. This is how the third row comes up. You use this little pull cord, and boom, there you go. Bob's your uncle, and there's the black seats I was talking about. Now, to put them down, there's no handy lever on the side or any buttons, but you know what? That means they'll never break. You just flip that lever forward, whoop, and it's down, just like that. You've got cup holders in the rear for both occupants. And you've also got these handy clips for the third row seat belts. When you're not using it, it's not in the way. And you actually have underfloor storage as well. It's actually pretty deep. We have one headrest off to accommodate a baby seat, and it fits just fine back here. So pretty good job on that, I've got to say. All right, that'll wrap up the walk around portion for the Highlander. Stay tuned for a full review. We're actually quite happy with this thing. It's nice to have something that's not a turbo 4-popper. Good, strong V6. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.